Session 32, we're recording. Who would like to give the recap?
So we started with a demon, a demonic skeleton warrior barreling down the hallway. T-Hole was in a Reggie's office. The rest of the party remained in the library, kind of the main room, discussing whether or not Kajika was going to leave. T-Hole crashed Whaleman's tiny hut to bar the door and secure himself 8 hours of rest. The rest of the party got the attention of the demonic skeleton, and they made quick work of it. Hellier I don't remember how he woke up, but he was either slapped awake or
I remember.
Minorly healed.
Kajika slathered oil all over him.
All over his sexy body.
I thought it was something unconventional and slightly arousing. Kajika informed Hellier how Lucirosi traded his soul for the librarian for information. At that point, Hellier burst out laughing at Lucirosi, saying that he was some paladin of Asheros and that he was going to take all of his glory and all of his godly gifts. He decided to leave with Kajika after some pleading. After T-Hole came back in the room and tried to plead with Hellier, he rightfully assumed that he had more than enough money with these giant gemstones that he's been cutting apart to pay for whatever giant army he wanted out in the real world. So Kajika and Hellier left. As they left and went outside the door, the last thing that they recalled or that they saw was the smell of something burning. Daggerface comes back in, and we decide to go forward. There was some intense role play between Lucirosi and T-Hole, which I promptly blew up my mic. We decided to go into the prison cell, and we met with the Herald. The Herald has a cape of like the night sky on the inside and a giant black sword. We decided to free her because she was trying to get back to the Courts of Chaos because Paradonna trapped her. And being down 2 members, we thought it wouldn't hurt to have a 10-foot tall celestial with us, or fiend.
So it probably is going to bite us in the ass because she mentioned something about getting back to her people sooner rather than later.
Yeah, probably, but the party isn't in much of a state to not accept help.
She did say that she had been knocked out when she was brought to the cell, so she doesn't know the layout of this place. She doesn't actually know where the exits are. And all she knows is she doesn't want to go back through the way she came.
Which we don't know which way that is. But
yeah, you sort of do from the servant map.
Step out into the ethereal plane.
Yeah. I mean, we know that it's probably that way, but we don't know for sure.
Doesn't she want to like go and bring people back with her to Sort of raid the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring some of her people back to help with Paradana.
Seems dangerous. They get killed. They get turned into undead. It's more for us to deal with.
So at that point, there was a mirror, and I forgot the name of the mirror, but it was a very special mirror.
It's a lesser mirror of life trapping.
Yes, that one. And upon looking in the lesser mirror of life trapping, there was an elven woman. I believe she was elven or half elven. And this is Peter's new character. She ended up being a tester, or her mom was a tester for the Emperor, so she recognized T-Hole almost instantly. Although
I'm offended on Aurelia's behalf that you think she's potentially elven. She was human.
And I can tell where T-Hole's mind is. Woman. Yeah.
The owl or ears, they all look the same after a while. So after some banter, we decided to free her and have her join us. And she referred to Lucirosi as Mr. Sparkles.
Mr. Scratches.
I kind of like Mr. Scratches.
She said he
glitter bomb him.
He looked more like a Mr. Scratches than a Lucirosi.
We proceeded to the next room, and we on the table was lying a giant golem type creature that was entirely made of hands. I believe it was wielding 2 weapons. On the floor there were different pools of colored liquid. Upon getting in, the golem arose and started just running around the room, essentially clotheslining us as we passed. Each of the pools, some were really slippery. I remember some had other effects. I don't recall all of them, but it was...
The black one was very slippery. The green one made Daggerface feel ill when he stepped through it from the fumes. The other ones nobody stepped in, so you don't know what they are. Maybe nothing. Maybe completely harmless puddles of liquid. You should try.
After an encounter, we were able... It didn't actually die or fall. It just went back to the table and laid down. There was... I don't recall who we got it from, but we have it's like a wand of unlocking.
So I have a chime of opening.
That's what I meant. Yeah, the chime of opening. And
take it from him, please.
Lucirosi used it to unlock the weapon that was chained to Hansy's hands.
To be fair, Lucerosi's thought process was, well, if this thing is going to regenerate here, maybe we should just take its weapons away.
Which is a fair assumption. And in doing so, as the chains clattered to the ground, the weapons rose up and started pointing at Lucerosi's, by themselves.
Right, they were pointed at his throat. You also notice, I think, just to re-describe the room stinks. It burns your eyes just to be in this room. There's no condition associated with that, but it's a very acidy smell hanging in the air. There are all these puddles on the ground. They're clearly different, but it's not clear what they all do. There are various tables around the room that are lined with potion bottles and braziers and a bunch of other alchemical tools and agents and reagents. One of the lights appears to be flickering, and there's a wire that connects that flickering light to a large machine that's next to the golem. Sparks are shooting off that machine. Some of them are arcing into the ground in front of it. Other times it's just shooting off directly into the air. There's a lever that's jutting out of the machine next to the table the golem's on that appears to be up. The machine is also connected by a wire into the table that the golem's on. The table itself is made of metal. There's also there's an archway and a door that presumably leads to the chapel from the map that you have. As you're looking, at least Zarius notices that now that these two swords have been freed from the lock, they're actually locking gauntlets. They're just like plate armor gauntlets that you can lock closed so that nobody can knock the weapon out of your hand. Somebody.
Oh, you mean the thing I was going to go get for Lucia before he lost his weapon?
But as they rose up into the air, Zarius would have noticed, even at this distance, that almost immediately once they were freed, the pommels and hilts of the swords began to grow red, almost like they were being coated in blood, and drops begin to fall onto the table and onto the golem. It also begins to sort of slide down the blade as they're leveling off at Lucia. You also notice there's a very bright glow around Lucia that seems unnatural, but Zarius is the only one who sees that at the moment. And we can roll for initiative.
Lucia also, after that glow appears, you see his eyes kind of brighten, not like in terms of light, but in terms of emotion. And he lets out a hearty laugh as he begins to ready himself for the creature. So, I don't see the map, though.
Yeah.
Are we on the map yet?
No. He's working on it, I'm sure. He was screen sharing.
Oh man, I got 13. That'd be gold. Golden Peter's game.
Remember to click on my character first.
Oh yeah, that's right. You don't use dice in this.
Ugh. I did worse.
Damn it. I guess it didn't show up. You want me to? Can you put it in, or you want me to click again?
Let's see. What was it?
7. But I didn't. I clicked, but I didn't click. And has it been over a minute that this happened? Like,
no, this is right at the end of that fight.
Okay, so I still have the Shadow Blade.
Also, quick note, more of a logistical detail. Lucia and T-Hole are both covered in oil. The oil
Yes, that's right.
slipperiness. So, yep, comically slipping.
Yeah, that'll last a full hour.
Jeez.
So these the two swords have floated up into the air. There's this red liquid dripping down the blades now. They both lash out at Lucia. This time, when they were in the gauntlets, they were moving in a halting and jerky fashion. This time, they're moving with extreme precision and quickness. But the first one misses. The second one then swings around behind Lucia and also stabs. And that one hit. So, Lucia, make me a Constitution save.
Might negate the what is it? Sentinel at this door, I think it is. Yeah, I'll negate the crit. So it's just a regular hit.
I am gonna use an action point to reroll that.
Whoa.
Okay, so you take it's not a crit anymore, so 9 points of piercing damage and 12 points of poison damage. And you could feel that the poison that is now in your bloodstream is burning like fire, but you feel like it could be a lot worse.
How many points of poison again?
12.
All right.
Dagger faces will just swing at the one that's adjacent to him. Daggerface misses the first time completely. The sword dodges right out of the way of the axe. The second time he brings the axe down and he hits it and you hear a clang. The sword drops, but it doesn't appear as though he actually damaged it. T-hole.
T-hole is going to let's see, how far are we from? How far am I? Sorry, my computer's being a little slow.
No
I
problem.
had accidentally refreshed the browser, and now like Roll20 is free. I'm trying to figure out if I'm 30 feet away from the sword. Come on now. Placing. That's not what I wanted.
Oh, Kurt? Did you roll for the
Right.
other, for the?
I did not roll for her. I forgot about her.
Traitor!
Yeah. She just doesn't look that motivated to save you.
She needs to be inspired.
Okay, so I'm going to cast Dispel Magic on these swords.
Let me check something. Okay. You know that it could work, but basically they get a save. And it wouldn't necessarily be permanent if you cast Dispel Magic on them. They could come back. The magic that animates them might come back, but you could knock it out of commission for a while.
Okay, attach it to the motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm still going to go forward with that.
Yep, that's fine. So what's your spell save DC?
15.
So you cast the spell, and which sword were you going after?
Is there one? I mean, I'm like 40 feet away, so I would just pick the closest one because I'm not sure if I would get like a good, unless I could tell that one is like visibly more dangerous than the other.
They're slightly different in design, but otherwise there's no reason to think one is more or less dangerous than the other. The
Do they
stats are
both have
identical.
that red liquid on it then?
Yes.
So I would just pick the one that's that attacked Lucirosi first or last.
Yeah, they both attacked Lucirosi, but doesn't, like I said, they have the same stats, so it doesn't necessarily matter. I'm just looking to see if there's anything that's definitely a sleep icon, but I don't see that. So looking for little Z's coming out of the sword. The one sword you see floats slowly to the ground, the one that was next to Daggerface, between Daggerface and Lucirosi, and seems to be inert. To all appearances, it's just a sword now.
And that'll be my turn.
So the Herald, Loshai Shalus, approaches, but is hesitant to step in the green liquid and would have to squeeze to get through and would wind up stepping in one of these two liquids. So bobbing around, she doesn't really have a ranged attack. She decides that she's just going to stay where she is. Aurelia.
Hussy.
Hussy?
Can I tell that T-Hole did dispel magic?
Give me an Arcana check. I would say no. With that, you weren't able to identify the spell.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna throw the Shadow Blade at the one that looks like it's still alive.
Yep. The other one that's still floating.
Yeah. Boom, yow. So
roll your damage and then add your max damage to it.
So
Plus your dex.
plus dex. Plus 3, so that's 11 plus. So you do it. So the
It's
2d8 would be 16.
30 total.
Okay.
So the Shadow Blade hits it. What damage does the Shadow Blade do?
Psychic.
Psychic, yeah. I think you technically get to add your dexterity bonus to that attack.
You do.
So the Shadow Blade hits this construct and seems as if it passes through it without effect. The sword doesn't even move in response to being directly impacted by it.
Okay. Let's see here. T-Hole is near one of the potential unbelievers, so it's 5, 10, 15, 30. Right here. Yeah. Okay, that's as far as I can get.
Doing anything else?
No, that's all I can do.
Okay.
I can inspire someone.
I don't know.
Oh, I get inspired.
It's about that.
Lucerosi's turn then.
Since I imagine the sword is pointy end at me, he's not going to try and. I think he would normally try to grab it, but since it cut him and everything, he's going to just go for the attacks. So, boom, boom.
Those both hit. The first two hit. The last one, off balance as it is from the first two hits, it still manages to dodge out of the way of the third.
Okay. And then I'm going to Divine Smite first level as well.
So there's a flash as your attack connects with it. The sword seems as if it wobbles for a bit, but then it steadies. The blade is still pointed at you. Zarius.
Sorry, I was finishing my chili.
No problem.
Would I be familiar enough with T-Hole to know that he casts Dispel Magic?
I mean, I would say have Dispel Magic, I guess.
I do have it, yeah.
I should ask
And
that.
it's prepared, yeah.
Yeah, I'll say you would know it. You've seen him cast it before. So what's your spell save DC?
Also 15.
And this sword also slowly descends to the ground.
Perfect.
We must lock it up while it's still asleep. The spell won't last forever.
Wait, so what you've done is only temporary?
Yes, unfortunately, unfortunately, dispelling magic only has a temporary effect on these creatures. But it's enough that we could lock them back into its chain so that they don't attack us.
Let's not lock them back to Hansy, though. We should secure them for ourselves.
I have no need of swords that can kill me or try to kill me on their own volition.
Not for personal gain, but rather so that we can know that they're not being used for purposes against us. Either that or destroy them. Either way.
You are the strong one.
I would like to know a bit more about these swords before they are destroyed. They may be useful. Though
If the
the one
enchantment is
that
only
one
temporary,
that struck me is if I feel like poison coursing through me, and that is a dishonorable method of attack.
I mean, just from your standing over them, so you would see clearly both of them look like they're covered in some almost blood-like substance. It's maybe a bit too vibrant a red, but it's about the same thickness as blood.
Do we have like do I know how long this might last, or it's just kind of I just kind of know it's gonna last for some time.
Make me an Arcana check. I mean, you would guess with animated objects like this, permanently enchanted animated objects, it will suppress it probably for only a matter of minutes, maybe just like a minute or two even, but possibly maybe 10.
So we have anywhere between 1 and 10 minutes before these swords come back to haunt us again.
Does anybody have any chains, or can we perhaps repurpose the locks that they like? The locking mechanisms, were they attached to Hansy?
Well, the locking mechanism is designed so that the gauntlet wasn't going to fall off just because the gauntlet was sort of strapped on. Presumably he's made of hands. Maybe he could have undone the straps, but you're not sure he's smart enough to have figured that out. The lock really just closes the gauntlet around the sword so that it can't be dropped. So it's built into the actual palm of the gauntlet itself.
Does anybody have any chains or anything that we might be used to bind these things?
not or too much. Either lock them up or destroy them.
Yes, I'm afraid that my calligrapher's kit will not come into use for this matter. So I agree with Zarius that our only real option is to destroy them before they destroy us.
Okay. All right. Well, if they must be destroyed, then so be it. And Lucirosi will begin pounding away at them.
As one does.
Okay. So normally I would just say it would be a crit because they're prone and within 5 feet and all that. And they're subject to all those rules. So you are, I'll just say, able to inflict enough damage to permanently destroy them, to separate them into pieces and break them apart. It does take a lot more work than you might have thought for these sorts of swords. So clearly the magic provided some strength to their construction, but they're completely dismantled now. The blades are bent and broken.
All right. All right.
Good work, Lucirosi.
I apologize, everybody. I did not think that this would happen. I was just trying to disarm our handsy friend here. But by the way, Zarius, earlier you mentioned something about a horn that you were seeking, correct?
I don't remember if I actually did or not.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
In fact, since I don't think, dispel magic may be concentration, right?
No, it's just
It's not.
instantaneous.
Okay, so you still have your locate object spell active then.
Yeah.
Zarius, was that by any chance a war horn of the Veil?
I believe that is what you call it, yes.
So, I believe that is actually contained within the chapel ahead of us. At least according to our devil friend out there.
Then let us move. I will know as soon as we get in.
All right. T-Hole ribs Aurelia. He says, Lucirosi just said devil friend.
Why did he say that?
Well, I won't spoil it. I'll let him tell you.
Oh yeah, some of the things that got skipped over as banter were that Aurelia knew that T-Hole was formerly the Emperor and maybe his daughter. Who knows?
Yeah.
Additionally, be on guard. There may be some creatures, demons, ahead. I believe that they are poison and fire will not work upon them, and as well as cold. And magical weapons would be the best to bring to bear against them if you are to fight them in hand-to-hand combat. Also, be careful. They may try to overwhelm you if they are, in fact, beyond this door.
So Daggerface makes his way around, not touching any of the puddles.
Perhaps we can funnel them at the door.
Can I get through this way without hitting any of the puddles?
Yeah.
Okay. So Lucirosi volunteers to take the lead.
Does anybody need healing? Yeah, what's everybody looking like?
Well, thankfully, I'm still spry.
Is Daggerface okay? How's
Yeah.
his health?
He's fine.
Okay. I'm going to restore myself 21 hit points with my lay on hands. Bring me back to full.
Aurelia covers her eyes.
So that'd be
Judging by the picture here, it looks like Aurelia is down a little bit.
She did get hit by Handsy.
Zarius will do a little bit of
Can
healing.
you see other people's?
Only on Kurt's screen share.
I was looking at my screen. I'm like, that's strange.
I'm the healer. I have these insights. Actually, you know what? I won't heal her yet. I'll wait. I'm more efficient if I wait till you're down.
0.
I'm not a life domain cleric.
Big shock.
messaging. Can you bring me my food from the microwave and some soy sauce?
Is that all you need from the kitchen? Soy sauce in your food?
Mm-hmm.
Or about silverware?
Yeah.
So now I need silver. Is that all you need?
Yeah.
You sure? What about a drink?
No. But
You sure?
You ready to open the door?
Zarius will ready like a sacred flame at some in case we see some enemy.
Is T-Hole standing that far back? Just in case.
And actually, as
T-Hole decided to move. So T-Hole would come up next to Aurelia.
and then just before I open the door, T-Hole, or not T-Hole, Lucirosi flashes with golden light and sprouts wings of energy. I'm going to use my Radiant Soul ability now in preparation for the potential fight ahead.
Can't that blind people?
No, not this version of it. That's what the Gem of Brightness is for.
Mr. Scratch has got wings.
So you're opening the door.
Wow.
And he's
Oh,
bright.
food's coming. Now, quick, think of something else for her to get in the kitchen.
You need some salt. Some extra MSG.
All you have to go with is, can I get a napkin?
Hey, Lisa, can I get a napkin? Joking. Don't kill me. All right, yeah, opening the door.
No, but seriously though, can you get napkin?
So you open the door. The interior of this room ahead of you is dark, except for 3 places in which there's light. One is a crystal orb that's hanging over a sort of traditional cleansing pool that people might use to ritually bathe themselves. The second is a shaft or column of light that's rising up over an altar. It appears as though it's just a cylinder that rises up into the ceiling. And the third is there's a glowing golden plate on the floor at the back end of the room. You can see that this was once a really very fancy, probably stunning chapel. It would have been, it's certainly the envy of any small town or maybe even a large town. The entire surface of it, though, looks as if it's been grossly defiled. There was, once upon a time, very fine frescoes painted overhead and bas-relief carvings all over the sides of the walls. All of them appear to be defaced. A number of places you could see that there are just profane drawings of sexual and mutilated figures that have been drawn onto the walls just to help to defile this place. Only the altar itself looks to be untouched. You can see there is a mummified body, a body that just sort of dried out over time that seems to be sitting in one of the pews. Lucirosi can see that there may be other bodies deeper in, although the low light makes it hard to see.
So I'm going to step into the room, and my eyes will glow blue for a second as I use my my divine sight, divine sense. See if there's any demonic creatures or corrupted creatures within.
You see that there are a series of flashes against the cylinder of light around the altar. They appear to be sort of random. You can definitely sense some sort of fiendish activity in that area, but it's hard to pinpoint the source, and you don't see anything physically.
In this area here?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to carefully approach that area.
As you begin to enter the room, before you even get that far in, coming up from the bathing pool, certainly before you get that far in.
Yeah, I'm trying to remove my guy. Probably
Yeah, when you get to about 10 feet into the room, the surface of the water in the bathing pool begins to surge upwards, and you see the figure of some creature that you've probably never seen before and so probably can't easily identify, surges up out of the water and is hovering over top of you. It looks to be almost fish-like, but the lower end is completely made of water and is merged into the pool. The level of the water in the pool has lowered considerably now that it has hefted itself out. And who might you be?
I am Lucirosi, and who am I addressing?
I am the ambassador, Ziad Gengelasi. I have been trapped here for a very long time. Many weeks, maybe months. Is it safe to go out? Has Iregia gotten control of this place again?
Are you an ally of Regia's?
I was a guest at her party. That is what he looks like.
Cool.
We have not seen Regia. There are many dangers still about in the manor.
Have the other guests found means of escape? I did not see you at the party.
No, we have just recently arrived. And as far as we can see, everybody that we have encountered has been killed or died in some manner.
Have you seen a water elemental, a slave of mine? He ran off when the commotion started. I could only make it this far, but there are demons in this room. They don't come near the pool, but if you venture much further in, they will come after you.
Thank you for letting us know. Why did I not approach you?
Well, the pool is sacred and magical. I suspect it keeps them at bay. They got close once. They smashed the urns on either side, but they dare not touch the water, apparently.
I see. I'm going to motion for the others to approach and kind of move out of the way so that they can see. I'll move a little bit closer to this creature in a manner that I try to do non-threateningly. So, I'm sorry, what is your name again?
Ziad Gengelasi.
Ziat Gengelasi? Am I saying
It's
that
hard for your kind to speak, I know. Ziad, with, in your language, a D at the end.
Ziad. Does Lucirosi know what a water elemental is?
You would be vaguely aware that there is another class of beings. There's sort of like the living, and then there's another class of spirits that were never necessarily living, that are just sort of tied to the world and the elements. And those include elementals.
Okay.
You know, this, for all you know, might actually just be some sort of magic as opposed to him being an elemental. He did mention he was looking for an elemental slave, though. So there's a clue.
Right. I'm gonna use another divine sense to see if this creature comes up as corrupted.
It does not.
Okay.
Does divine sense detect elementals? I don't remember.
Well, your version of that divine sense, I don't think so. Here, let me. Looks like just corrupted creatures.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense for the backstory of my world. You would know about elementals in that they weren't created by the gods. They were sort of just created as an after effect of creating the world itself.
So
But you don't detect anything corrupted in him.
okay. Doesn't mean he's not evil, just not corrupted.
Right.
But so Lucirosi definitely finds his use of slave distasteful, but he's not going to let that get in the way of this. And say, I've not encountered any watcher elementals while we've been here, mostly just creatures of undead and demons.
I saw no undead, just demons devouring the guests. Are you here to clear out the demons in this room?
That would be one of our goals, yes. Might you provide some aid in that endeavor?
I am no warrior. I would not want to be tainted by the touch of their kind. No, I shall lounge here in this pool, this lovely pool.
I think he has the right idea. Perhaps we should all lounge in the pool.
Lo Shai Shalou, you notice, begins to run. And she gets to about there when all of a sudden there's a flash in the room. And you see a huge pentacle appears on the floor. There are runes at the tips of the star. And demons are hovered around the column of light in the center, all of which have turned their attention to her, but are quickly looking around at all of you.
Well, at that, Luciros is not going to pass that up, and he's going to fly down to meet them in battle.
Well, before you move, we should all roll initiative.
Let's meet them and greet them.
All right. Let me get back there.
Let's see. I got even lower than last time.
Did you activate the... Oh, okay, it did. Yeah, dagger face bringing up the rear.
Oh, wow. He did worse than I did.
Yeah. So I guess Aurelia goes first.
Is this room on purpose dark?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just making.
You should be able to see 3 sources of light.
Okay, yeah. I'm just making sure. So let's see. So I guess I see her. I saw her run off.
You saw her start to bolt for some reason, running to the far end of the room.
All right. Has Lucirosi taken off yet?
No,
He's about to.
you are faster than anyone in the party, probably.
All right. All right. I'm gonna hold my action, and if these demons or whatever start to attack them, I'll attack them. Because I'm not sure if I can even see them. I just see shit going on. I'm not really sure. I'm just making sure T-hole's all right. Excuse me, Emperor T-hole.
Okay. Loshai Shalou is hugging the wall. But you realize that this is apparently what's caught her attention, is this golden plate at the bottom. And you can see she's casting something, or at least reciting some incantation of some sort. But that's her turn. The stinger demons all look up at the ceiling, and they cross their fingers in front of their faces, and they begin to utter a howl that sounds almost like a chant, but it sounds almost like some hideous mockery of the sort of chant you would hear in a traditional church. But that's their turn. T-hole.
Hmm. Let's see. 5 foot space. Okay. Um, okay. So Yoel's going to he's going to reach over into the tub of water, and he'll say, "Bless you, my child," and he'll splash it on Aurelia, and casting protection from good and evil.
Okay.
Dude, does that work against demons?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
fiends.
fiends. Okay, yeah. So, that, and then Teal's gonna kind of stay where he's at.
I'm just trying to resist the urge to say, okay, you've made Aurelia wet. Now what?
Well, you couldn't resist it. You just-
Yeah, you didn't resist it hard enough.
Let's hope she liked it.
I also should point out again, she looks like she's about 13.
Well, you know.
This is a different time, different era.
Right. Yeah, but as I pointed out in my summary, in your day when you were emperor, that was marrying age for a girl of her.
I mean, her mom was probably a similar age, so when I knew her.
Maybe younger.
Yeah.
Well, Luceroshi, you're up. Here we go.
Is T-Hole doing anything else?
I just moved. I'm standing on top of this tub, like right next to the
Right.
water.
It's only about a foot high, the area you're standing on off the floor.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, it's not a big leap up. Before Lucerosi goes, Zeon Gelasi says, well then. And he descends back into the water. No trace of him, except that you do see in the pool, T-Hole sees now that he's up on top of it. In the pool, there is a trident that's laying along the bottom.
Interesting. All right, so since I'm flying, or I can fly, I'm just gonna move right through these things. Maybe here makes more sense. And then start attacking this guy. So 1, 2, 3.
So the second one hits.
All right, I'm gonna use a level 2 divine smite. Being it gets the extra damage, right?
Yes.
You made a deal with the devil, so you lose a die.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna use an action point to do another attack. I assume that the first of my 2 more attacks hits.
This second one seemed to hit. I lost her. Wait, 1, 2, 3.
Should be 4.
Four,
Well,
five.
there should be 5.
Right. Yeah. So there's one of the second longsword attack hits.
Okay, so I'm gonna use another level 2 smite on that guy.
So your swords go slicing into this creature, tearing apart, tearing into its side, so that you could see what for a human would be the cavity where the organs would be spilling out. But there doesn't appear to as though they have the same sort of anatomy. It is essentially just a cavity, but you do see almost spaghetti-like strands of something wriggling around inside it. It is still appears to be awake and alert, though.
Oh wait, I also get it takes an additional. What level am I? 8. It takes an additional 8 radiant damage from my radiant soul ability. And then when I use my action point, does that count as a second? Because it's only one attack that gets that. But with my action point, would I apply it again?
I assume the ability. What's the ability say?
It says you can deal extra radiant damage to one target when you deal damage to it with an attack or spell. The extra radiant damage equals your level.
So it would apply every time you hit, or is it once a round or once a turn?
I've kind of assumed that
I'll say I'll have to look at it and maybe.
here,
But I'll say for right now, you can apply it again.
okay, so then it would be an additional 16 radiant damage to it.
Right. Okay. You doing anything else?
No, that's my full turn.
Zarius' turn.
Alrighty. The marking in the ground here. Can I tell what it's? I mean, I'll move over to it here. So if I go here, could I tell? Could I like disturb the marking? Like kick it up?
You believe you could. It's not actually all as neatly drawn as this particular drawing. It apparently was probably just done with their claws smearing these lines on the ground. But
Okay.
yeah, it could be disturbed.
I'd like to try and disturb it.
Okay, what are you doing to it specifically? It appears to be blood, probably just some. It's typical blood, probably of somebody they killed or many people they killed, given the size of the mark.
I'll take the end of my staff and like scrape it across.
Okay, so as you drag it across, you smear it a bit as it moves through this smear of blood. You get the sense that it's been here for a while, so there's a good sized scratch in it, and it's pretty dried out at this point.
Okay.
But it will probably take a number of scratches to make it illegible, but you've definitely broken it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know if it was. It seems like it's some sort of ritual thing, and I figured if I could mess up the markings, then. Yeah. I mean. Okay.
Yeah. I will just say more overtly. If you had like a liquid you could dump onto it, or could like splash water from the pool behind you onto it, it might do a little more than scratching it through. You have definitely broken the sigil itself that they tried to paint on there. But is that enough to disrupt what they were doing? You're not sure.
Oh, if only somebody had shape water. One of the few times this cantrip might come in play.
Yeah, I didn't prepare my create food and water, so didn't think we would quite need it. Okay. Let me see what I have here. I have a I have a shield. Can I use my shield to pull some, like, to sort of splash some water out?
Yes, yeah.
And then use it to wipe away some of it, clear
So,
away as much as I can.
Splash some water onto this thing. The symbol itself begins to smear out. You then proceed to smear it away to the point where it's illegible. And you do see the sparking that was going on around the altar begins to stop and fade away.
Okay. So now I really can't see.
Well, no, I mean the altar itself. There's still a pillar of light around the altar, so it's still glowing. There's still a light behind you as well, and then a light at the far end. You can't exactly see the walls very clearly without dark vision.
Right. Do I get the sense perhaps that if I could disturb all of these, then whatever is going on there in the middle might stop?
Give me a religion check.
Ooh, I'm not very good at this.
You're a cleric.
What?
Didn't say I was a good cleric.
I'm good at what I do. I roll fairly well.
I'm not one of those studious nerd clerics.
Yeah, fucking nerds.
I'm a cleric of action.
I either make you dead or I make you alive.
So you get the sense that they are trying to defeat that pillar of light in the center and get at the altar for whatever reason. And you do believe if you messed up their magic inscription enough, it would set them back on trying to breach it.
Okay. But not necessarily stop it until we can perhaps kill them.
I mean, they could probably, for all you know, they could set it again using your blood if they win.
Sure.
So you're saying we better win?
So you're saying there's a chance. Okay, well.
Also, these guys are pretty tough. I'd like to point out that I did like 80-some damage to that guy, and he's still up.
Okay.
So
whatever. Don't be a bitch.
I'm not being a bitch. Just saying.
All right. So I guess I'm assuming that probably took an action.
Yeah.
To do that. So I'll use an action point to do another thing. Probably. Thank you. Let's do a guiding bolt.
How come things get brought to Tony and I don't hear any complaining? Sorry, go ahead. The guiding bolt.
Yeah. We're gonna do it at a base level here. Oh man, if only I had.
Oh, so close.
Damn it. The one that Lushiroshi hit, I think I will do.
Okay, so you hit it with a guiding bolt, and you see it screams into the air, and its body drops to the ground.
Oh, I should have did the other one. Whatever. It's lit up. You can hit it real easy now. But yeah, and so after I do that, I'll just yell out to everybody, we could disturb these markings, it will disrupt them. And that'll be it.
And as your guiding bolt goes off, you hear, Dagoffy!
Oh, God.
But he only makes it to about there.
You gotta time your catchphrases a little better.
And then he like runs a little bit forward and is just a little bit winded from like the extra steps he had to take. So isn't able to use his axe this round. Aurelia, it's your turn again.
All right. Yeah, obviously inspired by the Emperor.
I mean, he splashed water on you with his own hand.
Yeah, I mean,
I assume at least he didn't like put a glove on first.
it's kind of a big deal. So, let's see. I can reach this dude right here. I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers on him.
Good one. That makes them run away, right?
Let's see if I know what the fuck I'm doing. Dissonant Whispers. Yes. Submit.
So he has to use his reaction. What's the save he has to make?
He's got to make a Wisdom save.
Oh, hold on. So you cast it on him expecting him to bolt, but he growls. You hear a growl escape his lips as the lips curl around his fangs. He seems unaffected by the fear. He did, however, wince when you hit him with the spell.
Okay, so he didn't take any damage at all?
No, he seems as if he took some damage, but
okay.
He was not affected by the fear.
Okay. All right. Oh, shit. All right. So, stay right here. Okay.
So anything else?
That's it.
Loshai Shalou stops chanting and reaches down. Her hand begins to glow as she places it on this golden plate. And the whole thing pops open.
Is she gonna bolt now?
And you can see that, hold on. As she does this, there's an enormous burst of light that's just erupting from what appears to be best described, I guess, as a trapdoor in the floor. And she leaps in.
Oh, hey, I can see the room better.
Ah, yes.
I noticed no difference.
Thanks, Loshai Shalou.
He jumps in, appears right in front of a Regia or some shit.
So the demons now, the one that's next to Daggerface is going to attack him. First, you see its tail swings around as it tries to stab him. Oh, but it misses. Then tries to bite him. But it bounces off his armor and is unable to penetrate. The others begin to fly into the air. One swoops up and lands behind him. One flies and lands on the now bubbling corpse of its friend. And one lands behind Lucirosi. They don't apparently, none of them pass through the light that's guarding the altar. They probably can't get through that. And first one goes after Daggerface. The stinger on the tail bounces off, and it can't bite through his armor. Then two go after Lucirosi. Okay, that one hit. So Lucirosi, make sure I have this right. Make me a Constitution save. You're out of action points, aren't you?
I am.
So as the stinger is driven towards you, it actually finds a chink in your armor and penetrates in. You can feel the stinger is embedded in you, and it is not coming out. You are grappled.
Okay.
And you are poisoned.
Okay.
Now, I will just ask, is Arius going to negate the crit?
Oh, I didn't see that it was a crit. Yeah, probably. Y'all gotta stop doing that, though, because I can only do that so many times. And by so many, I mean I have one more left.
Well, or at least we're in the chapel, so we can rest here.
So you take 10 poison damage and 7 piercing damage then. Oh, I'm sorry. You take 4 poison damage and 7 piercing damage. I was looking at the second number. And you are poisoned. And now it is going to try to bite you. And because it's got you grappled by its tail, it's able to pull you in, and it gets advantage on its bite check. But it still can't do it. The second one is also going to attempt to sting and bite you. And it also hits. Make me another con save. Okay, you made it that time. So the tail slides out again, and you only take 7 of the 14 poison damage. So 5 piercing, 7 poison damage.
Okay.
But it reaches in and tries to bite. So as it bites in, you feel your flesh begin to wither. You take 13 slashing from its dagger-like teeth and 9 necrotic. Your maximum hit points are reduced by the 9 necrotic. Meanwhile, Aurelia, you hear something behind you and turn to see popping into view are completely different things.
Oh, nice.
They look like this.
Gross.
And they're going to try to bite you.
Jesus.
So I believe that's 2 hits.
No. Shit. No, that's 3.
No, it's 12 misses. Surely a 12. Actually, I think your armor class may be wrong. You have some sort of armor, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was looking at the 20. I guess that was for Lucirosi.
Yes.
Okay, so there's only 3. Yeah.
3 bites. What's your arm? How did you get 14 armor class? You have armor, and what's your dex?
Dex is +3. Plus, I got. Oh yeah, it is wrong, isn't it? Well, I've got the Elven Chain +1.
Right. Okay. So that's 14. That's what it is. You probably put your armor bonus in, but it's 14 plus your 3 for your dex then, so it should be 17.
Oh, that's important note. Okay, so that's 1 hit.
So it's 1 hit for 13 damage, piercing damage.
Bastard.
T-Hole, you see these demons appear behind Aurelia, and make me a wisdom save.
Wait a minute, because Aurelia has protection from good and evil, doesn't she have?
You're right. I did not remember the protection from good and evil, but it was a 19 or crit.
Or crit.
Yeah, so it did. I just thought it didn't matter.
But you're right that I forgot about it, so I wasn't even considering it. So.
Wisdom save.
Yep. This is why they have these little icons, so we can help to remember.
I'm going to use an action point to reroll that.
Okay.
Wow. That didn't help. So I guess I'm just gonna. I'm not gonna waste all my action points on.
Okay, so here's what happens. You see these things, and they're so twisted and deformed that you are frightened of them. And while you're frightened, you are paralyzed by the fear. You are restrained in your current place. At the end of your turns, you can repeat the save. But right now, you're restrained.
So it's just restrained and not paralyzed.
Right, it's just restrained.
What's
Nice,
the difference again?
Restrained is your speed is 0, so you can't move. Your attack rolls against the object of your fear, these demons, have disadvantage. Their attacks against you would have advantage.
Okay.
Actually, I'm sorry. Their attacks against you would have advantage. All of your attack rolls have disadvantage. You also have disadvantage on dexterity saves if it comes up. If you click on your token in the upper left-hand corner, there should be a little conditions button with your token selected. And then you can click on, in the chat, all the conditions will come up.
Oh, cool. All right.
I wonder what the grenade condition is all about.
So right now, you can still take actions, but you're restrained, so attack rolls have disadvantage. And you can't move.
Or sorry, not condition, but the grenade symbol. And there's also a radioactive symbol.
It's for many games, this Roll20.
So if I can't move, that means I can't turn around to cast anything.
No, you can. I would say there's no facing in 5e, so you can cast in any direction you want.
Gotcha. So that being said, I would I would cast a lightning bolt in this direction against these creatures. So it would presumably hit at least 2, maybe 3 of them.
You could get 2. The line wouldn't go through all 3 from where you are.
So I'm going to cast that.
So they make dexterity saves. What's your DC?
15.
They both fail. What's your damage?
Oh, looks like it didn't calculate it. So
86, right?
Yep.
23 lightning damage.
So as it passes through them, you get the sense it didn't do as much damage as you were hoping it would, but it did some damage.
All right. Mm.
Lucirosi.
All right.
Don't I get to make a?
Yeah, you get to make the save again.
There we go.
That definitely made it. Also, I forgot until just now too. Technically, your crown allows you to make just decide to succeed on an intelligence or wisdom save once a day in the future. Remember that?
Oh yeah, that's right. I remembered that it like negate like it was an automatic success for like low DC things. I forgot about the once a day. So thank you for reminding me.
And the good news is you're now immune to this effect of theirs for the day, so you don't have to make another one. Lucirosi, you also don't have to make a wisdom save. So it's your turn.
Oh, okay. Why don't I have to make a wisdom save?
Because you are 32 feet away from them.
Excellent. So, question. Do I get a save each round against this poison effect?
Yes.
Okay. So then what I'm going to do is first I am going to cast Shield of Faith on myself to make myself a bit more difficult to hit.
Okay.
So that'll give me +2 armor. And then I'll give myself an icon so I get that. And then, so I'm grappled right now?
Yes.
Okay. So I will, because the poison condition, is it just attack rolls and ability checks? Okay. So I'm not going to bother then trying to break the grapple because I'm unlikely to do it anyways. So I'm just going to make my attacks at disadvantage against this dude. Hopefully at least one of them hits.
One of them definitely hit.
Okay. So then I'm also going to Divine Smite on that one. And they also take an additional 8 radiant damage from my Radiant Soul ability. I guess I should have that, a little icon for that one as well. We'll go with that. No. We'll go with that. And then do my Constitution save, try and break this poison effect. God damn it.
You're still poisoned.
So that's my turn. I have 1 spell slot left. How's the guy look? Oh, by the way, I attacked that guy. How's he looking?
Hold on just a second. I gave the damage to the other guy, and then
I guess it doesn't really matter.
there, I fixed it. You don't. I mean, in 4 terms, he's not yet bloodied,
Okay.
but it was a sizable portion of his hit points.
Okay.
So Zarius, make me a wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
You're fine. And
That's pretty good.
you are not afraid of these demons in the corner.
Right.
And you're immune to their fear effect for the rest of the fight.
Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and cast, I guess. Boy, it's tough. Let's see what the range is here. Double check. Yeah. Two fronts here. We need to get together. So what I'll do is Beacon of Hope.
Okay.
It's a concentration, but everybody within the range has advantage on wisdom saves and death saves, and whenever healing is done to them, they recover max hit points.
Nice. How far does that?
30 feet. So I basically have to stay here. And then I don't really have much else because my only other bonus action is a spell as well. So I could use a second action point, but I may need it. They're kind of shit right now, so I'll let that be for now. Oh, you know what? I'll activate my staff so that the snakehead is active.
Okay. So that's the range of your Beacon of Hope.
Cool. Oh, I guess, is it centered? Will that move with me? By chance? Oh, it will. Sweet. Yeah, I'll just stay there. I don't need to move.
So Daggerface is going to swing at the one that was previously damaged. So he screams, Daggerface! But he only manages to connect with it once. And not for that much damage. So his heart just isn't in this fight for some reason. Aurelia, make me a wisdom save.
This battle would be a lot easier. Shalhoub didn't leave. Tony Shalhoub.
That's her cousin, Tony. So do you want to use an action point?
Because I'm paralyzed if I don't, right?
You're restrained.
Restrained. Okay.
I mean, for a bard, it means you couldn't move because none of your spells require to hit rolls.
Do I have advantage on the roll because protection?
No.
Yeah. I thought it was a wisdom save.
Oh, that's right. You have advantage on the roll because of the Beacon of Hope. But 12 plus 1 or 7 plus 1.
That didn't help. I'll use an action point. We'll try again, and this time.
Jesus.
Okay. You made it, so you are not afraid, and you can act normally.
I'm not afraid. So if I jump up on here, does he get an attack of opportunity?
Yes, if you you'd have to back away from him to do that. So this one would get an attack of opportunity.
Okay, I'm going to do that. I'll take the attack of opportunity, and I'm going to jump up there. Next to T-hole.
He misses anyway.
So I jump up there, and I grab T-Hole and I say, hopelessly devoted to you. And I cast Dimension Door and grab him and we haul ass across the ring.
Could have done that where you were.
I thought I had to be, I guess diagonal or whatever. It was more dramatic that way.
Sure. Showing her daring heroics.
So I want to be within the beacon of hope. Oh, fuck.
Like,
hold on here.
So, yeah, show me where you want to move, and I can move.
Sure.
Yeah,
or
we'll move.
Dustin could move.
Yeah, we'll move over there.
Cleric in between you. All right.
So now Zarius is the prime target there.
What? Emperor's T-Hole's safe.
It's true. It's very true.
So the stinger demons are going to attack. First, the one that has you grappled can't use its stinger on you because it's using it for the grapple, but it has advantage on its bite.
Just hits.
Yep. So you take the 7 necrotic you take this time also reduces your maximum. That's 5 from last time and 7 from this time, and you take the 9 slashing.
All right.
The other one that's flanking tries to hit you with its stinger.
You said the 7 is the max.
Yeah, the necrotic part of the damage. And then it will try to bite you as well. It does not have advantage, though, so it misses. The other 2 are going to attack Daggerface in the same way. Miss with the tail, miss with the bite. Hit him with the stinger. So he has to see if he is grappled. No, he is not grappled, but he takes the damage.
I'm gonna make my concentration check to maintain the shield of faith. Maintain.
And then we'll try to bite him. Oh, it did bite him, though.
Damn.
All right. I need him alive more than anybody else, so. So I'll negate it.
Damn. I don't think I've seen a double crit on here yet.
Damn.
I need him to get out of here. Y'all fuckers go down, we're dipping out.
You see the demons in the corner are unfortunately fast. And so they all start running for Zarius.
My shield still has that holy water from the thing.
You could certainly try to splash them with it on your turn. They all try to bite you.
Sure. Fucking 2 of them hit. First 2.
But that's their turn. So T-Hole, your turn.
So I'm gonna move about yay forward or so, just close enough where I can be in range of both. So T-Hole pulls out his staff and channels Bane, and I'm gonna Bane this guy. I'm gonna aim for the 3 closest of the stinger demons.
Okay. What kind of save is that? Wisdom?
Charisma.
Or it might be charisma, yeah.
Charisma? Okay.
I'll link it here.
1 failed. 2 failed.
Fuck yeah, fuck those people.
3 failed. They are all baned.
Minus 1d4
I was born the darkness.
on attacks and saving throws.
So then I'm going to spend 1 other action point, and I'm going to Bane I used my second Bane charge.
Well, it's a concentration spell.
Oh, never mind then. Then I will not spend my action point doing that.
Now is when you make them make saves, though.
Let's see. Actually, I will spend an action point, one more, and I'm going to do cast another lightning bolt, and I'm going to do it at level 4. And I'm going to attack in this straight line here to get these 2 demons off, these 2 stinger demons.
Excellent.
So
you're getting these 2 that were baned?
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
These guys.
The one made it, one further from you failed. What's the damage?
The damage, because it's not set up, will be another 23 for the one that failed, and then 11 for the one that succeeded.
Yep. So you see they don't seem to be as resistant to lightning as the other demons are.
Oh wait, you know what? I forgot to add I didn't add the 1d6 for the upcharge. All right, never mind. 24 damage.
Hey, that's one more point of damage for both of them because it rounded up the odd number.
Man, what a waste of fourth level spell. All right, that'll be my turn.
Lucharosi, give me a wisdom save.
Advantage.
With advantage, yes.
If what's his name? Daggerface needs to make it. He has +3.
You made it. So you are not afraid of the demons that appeared in the corner.
Okay. So Lucharosi is going to pull out the Gem of Brightness.
Mm-hmm.
Can he affect so it's a 30-foot cone. Can he affect the demon behind him and the 3 demons on Xarius without hitting Xarius?
I think this one would fall basically in the same line with Xarius from where you are. So I think you could hit these other 2 without hitting Xarius.
And this guy?
And that guy. I would say this. I would give you a chance to affect them all without affecting Xarius, but there's a chance you would affect Xarius if you went for that one extra guy. I would let you make a roll if you wanted to make it a challenge of skill for aiming a gem.
Let's see what the DC for that. Because it's a DC 15 con save.
I would say it probably makes the most sense for me to make this a dexterity check. But...
Of course it does. And if you're going to do it as an ability check, I also have disadvantage because I'm poisoned.
It would definitely be an ability check.
Darius, what do you think? Can you survive a DC 15 con save?
Technically, I mean, I can take a hit, but then I have to heal myself instead of doing something.
Yeah, but then all these other guys might be affected as well. What the hell? Yeah, let's do it.
So I'll be nice and I'll call it a DC 12 dexterity check, but with disadvantage because you're poisoned.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make that. I would be super shocked.
So the good news, you hit them all. The bad news is you hit them all.
All right, I got to make a con save.
DC 15.
So let's do this guy who is baned.
I sure didn't.
You get a new save every round, though.
What's this for again?
You're blinded for a minute.
Oh, fucking blind. Whatever. It's fine. I don't need that.
God damn it.
Oh, shit. I took hits. I just realized that my beacon of hope might be down. 2 16s.
Are you kidding me? God. Well, wow. That was not as effective as I would have hoped.
You got
All right. Well, now to roll my con save to see if I still am poisoned.
The important thing here is that you blinded me.
And I'm still poisoned.
Is there a good blinded option here?
Well, it's your turn.
Oh, yeah, that'll work. So I think I have to make a con save for the concentration I'd forgotten about.
Okay.
Confirm. I don't know if I have Warcaster or not. I don't think I do. No. It was the damage was. I think it was. Oh yeah, it was 216. So I guess my DC is 16.
DC is 10. Then it's half the damage. It's I don't play with your rule. I play with my rule, which is you make 2 saves, but you count all the different things differently. So it would be 2 DC 10 con saves.
Got it. Good. Not good. All right. Fuck. God damn it. All right.
So in reality, I think it's important to remember you didn't have the conversation about whether or not you could take it. Instead, it was more just Lucirosi held up the gem, his arm wobbling.
All right. Let's see here. Totally forgot what I was gonna fucking do.
I mean, to be fair, it could have been awesome.
It could have been. I mean, if you had made it and like more of them had rolled poorly, you'd be the hero.
Yeah.
Instead, we're all fucked.
I guess I've lived long enough to be the villain.
Where's that? Yeah, here it is.
Sorry, Helber will come back and save us.
He's been out there leveling up while we've been in here.
Helber might
it's a lot more time over there.
Point and laugh again, and then just shake his head and wander out.
Sorry, I forgot my wallet.
Just wanted to come back in here and gloat at you. All right, I'm gonna do Spirit Guardians at 4th level. So I'm increasing the damage by doing that.
Nice.
So it's an extra D8. So instead of 3D8, it'll be 4. But they make those saves at the beginning of their turn, everything within 15 feet of me. Yeah.
Make your con save to try and get not blinded.
I'm gonna I might use my other action point here to do a little bit of healing, I think. It's a shame my Beacon of Hope ain't up. I'd get full. But yeah, I'm going to do Cure Wounds at 2nd level on myself. Wow, what the fuck? I didn't add my... Doesn't it add a modifier to that?
Oh yeah, you should add your wisdom modifier to it.
Yeah. Why isn't that doing that?
I don't know.
So 3 plus whatever your wisdom on is.
Fucking bullshit.
At least it's better than 3. Just like 3.
All right. Drop down 32 hit points, recovered 7 with a 2nd level spell slot. All right.
So
Such is the way of things.
Daggerface sees all this happening and sees the demons that are swarming around a now blinded Zarius. He gets a con save to shake off the blindness, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, I should do that. Forgot about that. Hey.
There you go. But seeing this, let's see. Daggerface is suddenly very afraid.
Damn it.
Oh. Even with advantage, I wouldn't have helped him.
Yeah. So he is still going to attack the guy who's attacking before, but he's at disadvantage because of the fear. Still hit that time. Oh, he's doing well. So he still manages to do 28 damage to this thing, hitting it twice with the axe. Aurelia.
All right. So before I forget, the bonus action, I will. Can you feel the love tonight? And I will inspire Lucerosi, Mr. Scratches. I have one question. So, would Thunderwave knock away the spectral, whatever they are, that...
The Spirit Guardians? No.
Yeah, okay. So, all right. And it's a 15-foot cube, so like right here, I will get, what, these 3 guys?
Yes, you would get these 3 guys.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Excellent.
Just run up there. I knew there was no turning back. You've been thunderstruck, bitches. So,
Is that a con save?
Yep. Good grief.
Well, the one still has a minus D4.
Right. So the 17 has to also take...
All right, I got
So he only got an 16.
All right.
So he just made it too.
All right.
Would have been nice if they had been pushed.
And let's see. I think I still got some movement left, so I'll move back here. Protect the Emperor.
You're adjacent to this guy, so he would get an attack on you.
Fuck it. I'm going to do it anyway. We'll protect people.
He's going to attack you with his stinger.
That's not very nice.
But he missed, so you're fine.
I definitely move out of the way.
I'm just taking away damage or doing damage to these guys. Okay. Now it's their turn.
Move them like they have to make wisdom saves.
Which
Yes.
was it? The hold on before you make those saves. Was it the stinger demons that had the spectrals?
5 things have to make saving throws right now
Okay, so
for the spirit guardians.
for the spirit guardians, I'm going to use my portent. 2 of my portent rolls. I got a 5 and a 7.
Okay.
I'm going to attach them to the thing, the two of the these guys.
One of these has like the Bane on them, right?
These 2 guys have Bane on them.
So
yes. So the non-baned ones, like I'm gonna attach it to the two of the
Two of these guys.
Yeah.
They're not making the saves yet, right?
Oh, they're not making.
No,
saves.
this is their turn. They're all in. I just lumped them all into the demons.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna attach it to this one and then to this one.
Okay, that second one is blinded still, so you can, or you could do the one that could still see, whichever one.
Blinded wouldn't impact its saving throw though, would it?
No, but he is just saying he has a choice. He can get the blinded one or the other one.
I'll get the other one. I didn't see the blinded token.
It's partly covered up.
Yeah, so I'll get the one that's not blinded then.
Okay, so first I'm going to roll saves. Is it a wisdom save?
Yes.
I'm going to roll saves for the guys who are baned, the stinger demons. So he definitely failed. Next stinger demon, he may have failed. Oh. He got a 16.
16 will be sufficient.
The other 2 of the Rudderkin demons failed, but the blinded Rudderkin demon will make his save. He failed.
Nice. All right, I'll just do it. I'll let it roll here. Nice, 21.
Yep.
It's also like difficult terrain inside of this, but nobody.
Yep.
I don't think anything's going to be moving.
Okay, so now they can go. The one that just tried to attack Aurelia is going to step out towards Aurelia, which means Daggerface will get an attack opportunity with disadvantage. But he still hit.
Man, fucking disadvantage.
Well done, Daggerface.
And he gets his extra damage from his magic axe. And then it is going to again try to sting Aurelia. So Aurelia, make me a con save.
That ain't good.
Are you going to stick with it, or you want to use? Do you have an action point?
I got 1 left. Do I have advantage on this roll?
No.
Okay.
You have the protection from evil and good on?
Yeah.
Oh. So yeah, he only got a 16. Your AC is 17?
Yep.
Okay, so never mind. He missed.
Oh, nice.
But he will try to bite you anyway, and he'll miss. This other one is going to try to attack Daggerface. Hit him. But Daggerface made the save, and then he'll try to bite him. Also. Daggerface's maximum hit points have dropped again. Then the two on Lucirosi are going to go. One can only bite him, but he still has advantage. So that's 6 more necrotic that reduces your max hit points, and then 11 slashing. The other one is going to try to sting you and bite you. Oh, make me another con save.
Wait a minute. That's 22 hit points. Okay. Oh, I'm at 2 hit points left. And then like
That is 1 off from what you need.
You have inspiration if it matters.
oh yes.
So you made the save. So you take 9 piercing and only 5 poison damage.
Oh, only 5 poison damage? Alright,
Yeah.
So I'm at 8 hit points left. And then my max hit points dropped another 6. Right?
Yep.
9. Alright. And then that's 2 con saves, both DC 10 to maintain my shield faith. Name them. All right. Is that all of them hit me?
Yes, that's all that are near you now.
Okay.
The blind one begins to sort of stumble off and bangs into the pew, but he will have stumbled out of, just barely out of the range of those spectral guardians. But the other 2 are going to try to bite blinded Zarius, or formerly blinded Zarius.
Hey, that one misses.
We rolled 23 so we had. Roll 20.
And then the blinded one will get to make his save to try to shake off this effect, but does not. He's still blinded.
Dear roll 20 in our last game.
If you really need to, you can step inside that circle.
That's their turn. It's Teal's.
How do we want to play this? So Teal's gonna go up 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30, and to here, and I'm gonna cast a thunder wave at level 2. And hit the Baned Stinger Demon as well as the Rudderkin.
Okay.
When did it hit both Rudderkins?
Now it's a 15-foot cube. So if he wants to get the Stinger Demon in front of you, there's a space between those 2 that's 5 feet.
I thought these things were big. Is their icons are big?
Yeah, they're not sized large, though.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like it does 20 20 damage to the Stinger Demon, and then 10 to the Rudderkin.
And the Stinger Demon goes flying.
Nice.
And the Rudderkin does not, but it does not look to be in good shape.
Let's see. That, and then let's see. I guess I'm debating on whether or not I should go into the circle.
Into which circle?
the
You're in the
the altar circle. I guess I'll just stay where I'm at. So that'll be my turn.
Okay. Lucirosi.
All right. Lucirossi's in a bad place. He's bleeding. He's got poison coursing through his body. And he's just gonna go for it.
Of course he is.
Because he can't run away. He's grappled. And because of the poison.
Actually, I'm sorry. The one that he just thunder waved away was the one grappling you. So I would say the Stinger dislodged as it got.
Was that the one that was grappling me?
Yeah, it was the one behind.
I thought it was this guy this whole time.
No, he missed when he tried to grapple you several times.
Oh, tits.
So you're actually not grappled anymore.
Okay. And then am I no longer poisoned?
No, you're still poisoned. There's still poison from the sting.
Okay.
You'll get a save at the end of the round.
Okay. I mean, I'm still going to go for it, but this time at least I can run away afterwards. All right. So get my 3 attacks with disadvantage. Hopefully one of them connects. Boom, boom, boom.
2 of them.
Excellent. I'm going to use my last spell slot, a level 2 smite. And then he also takes an additional 8 radiant damage on top of that.
So you first you bring down the sword and slice into it, and again you see this sort of almost spaghetti-like substance falling out of it. You're now pretty sure from the way they squirm are probably some kind of worm that live inside this thing. But then you blast it with this radiant light that you're giving off, and it just begins to burn and char and falls apart in front of you. Ashes begin hitting the floor.
Nice.
On top of its buddy.
And then I will move.
Dive into the holy water.
I'm actually going to move in this direction so that I can use my lay on hands on myself and then get back into the fight afterwards. So, right about there. Why is it not? Right here. Oh.
Why don't you just move into the altar?
Lucirosi doesn't have any reason to believe that would have any kind of special effect. Oh, they can't enter the altar, right?
Well, there's
Flew around it.
There's
Yeah,
a
we saw them like
pillar of light surrounding it that reaches all the way up to the ceiling.
and
And
we saw them like, avoiding the altar.
Does the light
originally, yeah. What was that?
Does the light impede me from going in there?
You never know until you try.
All right. I'm gonna do that then. I'm gonna fly into the altar.
You
do I
passed.
go in?
It has, yeah. It has seemingly has no effect on you.
All right, I'm gonna do that then. That's my turn.
Zarius. Oh, I'm sorry. You can try to shake your poisoned effect.
Oh yes, thank you.
Nope, still poisoned.
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm still okay with HP at least. So I got 2 guys on me, so I'm gonna do a. Oh dang it! Whatever. I'll go this way. My word of radiance, which is everything within here. I think this will probably. Nope, it won't do it. All right. It's everything within 5 feet of me. Has to make it that con save or take that radiant damage.
I failed. 2 failed.
Nice.
So it's 4 radiant damage.
Or 6, up to you.
Hold on, let me roll a few more times. Let's see what we can do.
And then, yeah, boy, I can't really move without provoking anything. So, here I am. Come at me, bitch. Oh, you know what? Fuck it. I have a bonus action. This could be handy. I'll do my spirit weapon. Let's see. I'll hit the one over here. So
this guy?
Yeah. So I'll put it here. My scythe. I'll attack it. Oh, fucking.
I missed.
Whatever. It's still there at least.
Yep.
All right. Now I'm done.
So Daggerface is still afraid, but he had some success against this demon in front of him, so he'll try again. Second hit was a solid hit, but he missed on the first one. The one in front of him is not looking so good either. Aurelia.
How does this guy look in front of me? Does he look bloodied or?
He looks pretty healthy. Looks like he could live to a ripe old age.
Okay. If I cast greater invisibility on myself and move away, does he get an attack of opportunity?
No, he does not. Unless he can see invisible creatures. And give me, I'll let you choose either religion or arcana check. DC 15.
Religion. Oh, we'll go with the old arcana. Arcana.
These particular demons can see invisible things. So he would actually be able to see you. They can see invisible creatures within like 30 feet of them at least.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see the range on this spell is. Oh, one creature within range. All right, I'm going to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on him.
What's your DC?
16.
On for 5 minutes here. Sure.
So you see, the creature he's making some noise. You wouldn't call it laughter. It's not like any laughter you've ever heard. But he falls prone and continues to issue this guttural barking sound.
All right. She giggles. And does he get an attack if I move away from him?
No.
And I'll move over here. I can't really get.
I don't generally allow humanoid type creatures to get an attack. So I'll let you go.
Okay. So she runs around. I can't get in front of T-Hole, but close enough to help the Emperor if need be. And before I do that, I sing Hakuna Matata for Lucerosi, so he's got inspiration again.
If it's incapacitated, it doesn't have any reactions anyways.
Nothing to see here, Disney. Move along.
Come at me, Disney. What you got?
It's just a phrase. It's a wonderful phrase.
An army of lawyers and a monopoly on the entertainment industry.
That's right. Is that it? Is that all? Bring it. I ain't
their turn.
I ain't scared of no big rat.
Some wisdom saves.
Yep. I think this guy is technically out of it. Most of his square is out of it.
Yeah, but some of it is.
I think if we drew out their little template, it would not hit that square. So it's a wisdom save.
Yes. One made it, so they take half damage.
Well, actually, that was for the other thing I have to roll.
Oh, indeed.
So they failed.
A whole lot of 11. 3, 1, 1. The fuck?
So let's see. The one that's closest to the pool, it falls over as its flesh looks like it's beginning to dissolve.
Cool.
The other one looks like it's in bad shape, but is still up. Let's see. The Baned one will try to sting Daggerface, but does not. And then he will try to bite Daggerface, but does not.
Nice.
This one, who's he going for? Of course. He tries to sting Teal.
Now he's got to make the save.
Yes, that's true. He missed Teal with the stinger anyway, but he did get that.
That's what I like to see right there.
So as these little miniature draconic angels begin to pierce his flesh, he comes up and misses with a stinger, probably distracted from the pain, and then tries to bite T-Hole. And I believe a 26 hits T-Hole.
He's got yeah.
So it's 6 slashing, 15 necrotic, and the 15 necrotic reduces your max hit points.
So 40 minus 15 is 25, and max hit points is subtract 15, so that's 39.
Well, no, it reduces. You take your total hit points. It reduces you from your maximum by just the 21. But if you were to try to heal now, you would find your max is 15 lower.
Gotcha. So it'd be 31. That's my max. Okay.
And the blinded one, he is still sort of stumbling and bounces off a wall. Ricochets in the other direction. But he will try to make his con save to not be blinded.
Made it.
He finally did it.
He hurt himself. He takes some bludgeoning damage against the wall.
At least some stub toe damage.
So that's their turn. T-Hole. You now have 2 demons that are right up adjacent to you.
I'm going to I'm going to cast another level 2 Thunder Wave. To the ones in front of me. Ooh, nice. Crit.
See, Thunderwave doesn't crit.
Who said?
Well, you know what?
Yeah. Maybe your non-emperor thunder waves don't crit.
Right.
Somehow it's set up to crit. So I'll take it.
Right. It's set up. You have to uncheck the. It's set up as an attack. If you uncheck that box, it won't roll to hit anymore. So the Stinger Demon goes flying away. Or no, sorry, that was the wrong one. That's not the one that went flying away. This one. Pushed back to there, but still inside the radius of the spiritual guardians. The Rudderkin looks to be as though he's probably on his last legs, but he is still standing for the moment. It's Lucerosi's turn.
All right, I'm using my lay on. What's that?
Nothing's coming for you at the moment, so you seem to be safe.
Seem to be.
Yeah, you realize now that you're on the altar that below you, this is a fairly traditional religious symbol. There's sometimes people find these very rare gems that kind of look vaguely like the world. They look sort of planet-like because they're blue and white with specks of brown. So they frequently enchant them so that they levitate, they float, and they plant them on altars. This is a fairly modest-sized one, but they're so rare, it's almost certainly incredibly valuable. Around it, you see there are 2 gold and 2 silver orbs that are just rotating in the air. That's unusual, but you've seen that before too. This whole setup is probably, more than a few thousand gold. It cost somebody to put this here, but you, not being so impressed by mere material wealth, kind of kick that aside. Stand on the altar.
Well, I don't know if I would kick it aside. I'd probably give it to some poor people. Make better use of it. But yeah, I'm using my action to use Lay on Hands to heal me 27 hit points. And then I don't think I have anything that I can do as a bonus action, right? How many rounds have we been in this battle?
25.
Kurt?
I'm not sure exactly. Probably 5 or so.
Okay. I have a couple of rounds of my Radiant Soul ability. So then I'm going to just kind of continue hanging out in this, flying above this altar, kind of moving, but I'm not losing my speed or anything because I don't think I can hover. And then that'll be my turn. So now I do my Constitution save, and then I will use my Bardic Inspiration. Hopefully that makes a difference. Is it just a D6?
Should be. Isn't it a D8?
Depends on your level.
Yeah.
The D8 pass level 5.
Yep.
Okay.
You are
16.
no longer poisoned.
Huzzah! Ha ha!
The rest of you just see Lucerosi is pacing in the air, flying back and forth. Then he gets really happy.
He does a little aerial twirl.
Pats his poor upset Tum Tum.
Tum Tum was always my favorite character in Three Ninjas. All right, so I'm done.
Darius. You may be muted. Tony.
Yep.
It's your turn.
Do I know if these creatures, the one right in front of me here at least, are they susceptible to necrotic?
Give me a religion check. Is usually what I would use. You would say yes. You're pretty sure they are.
Cool. Then I'm going to Toll the Dead.
I would say, given your passive insight, you don't think it's possible for this thing to survive your spiritual guardians.
Okay.
So if you wanted to attack something else.
I'll do this one over back here. It's been hit by now, right?
No, it hasn't. It's been hit, but it's laughing.
Yeah, as long as it's been hit, so I could do all the damage I can.
Yep. So Toll the Dead, what's the save?
Wisdom save 15.
Failed.
That is a 12 damage. And then
So it is still emitting this barking noise, but you do see it appears to be withering under the spell.
Okay. And then I'll have my spirit weapon go ahead and swing down at it. It's down on the ground prone.
Yep.
So I guess this has advantage then, because it's a melee attack.
Yep.
Let me find where's my spirit weapon. There you are. Okay. Didn't matter if it was advantage, apparently.
That was a waste of advantage.
0-20.
And 11 damage.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Daggerface will attack. Daggerface, still frightened, nonetheless manages to dispatch this guy. And then he will... which one does he want to go to? He will move here. Aurelia.
All right, so... So I strum my Bandora and look at Zarius and sing Puff the Magic Dragon. We like him even if he's kind of heretic-y. And then you're inspired.
Or hot.
Offended.
And then I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery on that dude directly in front of me.
You mean this dude directly in front of you?
Yep. Sorry.
Okay. How do you mock him to death? What mockery do you use that it actually kills him?
You ugly. You ugly. You mama say you ugly.
A pained look crosses its face as it begins to like feel, and it realizes, you're right, it is ugly. This one's not blinded anymore, so it's going to leap over the pew and try to bite Daggerface. Missing. This one will try to sting Daggerface. He actually hits him, though. Daggerface has to make a save. Daggerface fails the save, so Daggerface gets pierced by the stinger on this thing's tail and is grappled by it. And it gets advantage on its bite as a result. Daggerface, he's not looking so good.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you do the Spirit Guardians and them?
No,
First?
it's probably not going to. You're right. I forgot to do the Spirit Guardians on this guy. Probably not going to kill him, though. So we will see. What's the damage for the Spirit Guardians this turn?
Like 16. And he saved.
Yeah, so he's alive.
And does Daggerface get a save for the fear effect?
He actually, the fear effect now will fade because they're the way the fear effect works, it goes away at this point. You need more than one of these things. But that wasn't what I was counting in. He's still grappled.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of damage. And then the other thing is going to try to bite him. Or did I already do that?
Yeah.
I think you already did.
The one that was blinded previously.
Because he got advantage on the bite.
This guy,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then this other one will try to make it save against this Tasha's Hideous Laughter. I think that made it.
Yeah, he got his advantage since he took damage.
But doesn't he still have the Bane effect?
Yeah, he still has the Bane effect.
Oh.
You're right.
I was born in the darkness.
Nope.
Nice.
He did not make the save, I don't think.
No. My jokes are just too funny.
So Teal's turn.
All right. Deals. Yeah. Player characters can move in the same space as other players.
You can move through the space. You can't end your turn in the same space.
Gotcha.
Can't end your movement there. Like.
Right.
I'm gonna move up next to Daggerface here, and I'm gonna upcast. Or rather, I'm just gonna cast a level 2 or level 1 Thunder Wave to try to get these guys off of them. And I hope it crits this time.
Wait, is Daggerface dead?
No, he's not dead.
See, it didn't do the.
Well, with the Bane, he's going to fail. So Daggerface at least is no longer grappled. He is still poisoned from getting hit last time.
Oh, that's what the skull is, the poison.
Yes. And then the Rudderkin save. He saved. So what was the damage on it?
It'd be 11 damage for the guy who failed, and then 5 otherwise.
So neither of those two look like they're in good shape. Anything else?
That'll be it.
Lucirosi.
Lucirosi charges out of the altar space, flying next to Daggerface to attack this dude.
First one hit and killed it.
Oh, first one hit it and killed it?
Yep.
Okay, so then can I use my remaining movement and do 2 attacks against this guy?
Yes.
Excellent.
And those 2 hits killed it.
Oh, I okay. I'm not going to argue with that.
You can re-roll if you want. I'm not going to stop you.
No.
You could crit.
Use an action point to re-roll.
Maybe you crit on the first one and then you got an extra attack and can try to run over here.
I'm good. All right, that's my turn.
Theirs will just move down a little bit. 5, 10, 15. We'll move here. That way he's in the effect, and then I will I'll swing my thingy at it. Spirit weapon.
You see that thing pops back up in the pool looking pleased.
Okay.
So that hit.
If it's prone, it's advantage. A whopping 5 damage. Whatever. And then I guess because of that, I'll just hit it with a Toll the Dead. Wisdom save.
Yep. Failed.
11 damage.
Yeah, this was the one that was looking healthy. He's looking less healthy now as he continues to bark on the ground.
All right, that's it.
Daggerface will turn and run over, try to kill the thing. But he misses. That time he hit. So Daggerface drives an axe into its head and the barking stops. It's dead. And you hear from the pool, "Very well done. I am not often impressed by you non-watery people." And he starts walking towards the back of the room. "Thank you for your assistance.
Where are you going?
I am returning to my home now."
Wait, where is your home?
You would call it the elemental plane of water. I live in the city of 10,000 pearls.
Wow.
Before you go, could you use your water to clear the markings from the floor?
Very well. And you see, he is just erupting in water. It's like geysers are shooting out of him onto the floor. The pattern is being washed away. It's really like a fire hose, but it's just being directed out of his chest.
I'm moving out of the way. Nobody gets the wrong idea.
Yeah. I'm getting out of here.
I'll just probably stand on a few.
And eventually the whole thing is gone.
So wait, Aurelia avoided it, unlike the girl that banged R. Kelly.
Well, if you see my slave, please tell it to return. Do you speak Aquan?
No.
I'm not with that language.
I can understand Aquan, but speak it, probably not.
Can you write it on a scroll? Will it be able to read?
We do not teach our slaves to read. What a waste that would be.
Do not worry. Your companion, and he makes sure to stress that word, is safe and alive. We will make sure that they are able to leave at their discretion unharmed.
Don't worry. The Emperor knows how to take care of slaves. He'll be fine.
Zarius just looks kind of confused for a moment. Would it not be more efficient for them to be educated in some way?
You obviously have never dealt with water elemental slaves.
This is fair.
And he takes a step forward and peers into this. It's really like a shaft of light that's just erupting out of this patch in the back of the room. And he's pausing to look at it, and he says, there is something coming. Goodbye. And you see he turns almost completely to water and flows down into the hole.
Zarius takes a drink from the pool.
Lucirosi, with the last bit of his celestial energies, will fly to the portal to see what might be coming.
I don't suppose drinking the water heals me.
No, it does not.
All right.
I mean, it tastes clean.
It says like froggy bathwater.
Do I see the trident?
No, he took the trident with him.
Ah.
Let me see.
The guy was just being worthless. He could totally have fought too, but.
So, looking down into the portal, you see two things. First, the view. It's hard for you to describe what you're seeing. It's a bit like looking into space, but all of the space inside of it appears to be white, and there are these swirls of color that appear to be a vast distance below you. You can't even judge the distance it's so far. I mean, other than looking up, you're not sure you've ever seen something at this far away. It could be 100 miles or 10 miles as far as you can tell. But you can't make any sense of it because it's just so alien to what you've ever seen before. But it looks like this. You also see that rising up out of it, there's a patch of almost blackness. It's at least a very dark gray, and it looks black against this light. And what you see coming up appears to be, in this sort of patch of darkness that's carrying along with it, is a shimmering ball, a multicolored ball that I can show you what that looks like too. Looks like this. And the ball is getting closer and taking up more and more.
We don't see the ball.
Oh, I should be sharing my screen.
Even on your shared screen, I don't see it. Unless maybe it came up behind.
Look behind you. There it is.
Well, I can show it to you differently. Let me just find it. There, it looks like that. It looks a little small in this shot, but it is size large. And it appears, and it almost gets stuck in the hatchway, and it appears like almost like a soap bubble floating in the hatchway.
So it's already emerging?
Yes. It's very hard to see it because it's so much like a soap bubble, but it sort of floats into the room.
Do I recognize this?
You actually do recognize it. In fact, hold on. Let me send a whisper.
Oh, I see.
While Lucirosi prepares once again for more combat.
And you actually don't hear a voice, but you can sort of feel the presence of this thing in your mind. So it's a telepathic message, but you get the sense that this thing is not incredibly verbal and not used to communicating with people. All you hear is it's asking each of you individually, one by one, are you T-hole?
Lucirosi audibly growls.
But then it seems to focus in, and it's leaving you alone, not communicating with you anymore. You could feel its presence touching your mind, but it leaves, and you feel certain that it's left because it's identified which of you is T-hole.
Is this Brendan's new character?
Yeah. Brendan's new character could have been fleeing from this thing or just taking refuge because it was right behind him. That was one of the possibilities. But let me clear out the initiative, and then we can roll again.
I'm
gonna die.
This thing seems familiar.
T-hole, what is it? It was asking for you.
Finally, I do decent on initiative, and it's ahead of me.
This thing isn't very smart. I believe it was a lackey of somebody I was trying to make a deal with. Although I don't remember who I was making a deal with.
What is it? How do we defend ourselves?
Do I know what it is?
Give me an Arcana check with advantage to see if you can remember. Nope. Yeah, you do. Only a 27. It comes to you after a second of thinking about it that this is a time elemental.
Like a chronal mental?
Do I know like what time elementals' weaknesses are?
I mean, you would know that they can be damaged like most elementals. Like they're susceptible to physical attacks. They don't have, like elementals, you can't exactly poison them, but non-magical weapons aren't as useful against them. There are certain things you can't do to it. You can't grapple time.
You can grapple with time, you just can't grapple it.
Right. It probably can't be exhausted or something like that. I would say that this is one of the rare things that is resistant to force damage.
I mean, ghosts are resistant to force damage, right?
No, they're not.
No. So I responded to time elemental.
Is it
I don't think
dangerous? Does it seek to harm us?
We're rolling
Well,
initiative, so.
I have a bad feeling, so probably.
I mean, I know we rolled initiative. Lucia Rossi doesn't know we rolled initiative.
Right.
I don't
It
think-
starts to. It floats very quickly right through the barrier that's protecting the altar, and up to T-hole, and then it tries to slam him by just banging into him. So give me a con save.
Hold on a sec. I didn't actually roll initiative.
Okay, maybe you beat it then.
I think he's within my range of my spell. If it's so bad. I don't know how long it's been.
It hasn't been too long. He can make a save. Yep, made the save.
Oh, shit. Half damage.
He at least means this thing at least means me harm.
So you take 17 force damage and you age 21 years.
Jesus.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter to T-hole if he's lived thousands.
All his years are catching up to him now.
Yeah.
So you just see T-hole gets visibly even somehow older. That's its turn. Serious.
Yeah, I'll take one step forward to make sure it stays within my thingy. Hopefully stays within. Might actually go this way. Yeah.
You feel like from the communication it had, it was pretty focused on T-hole. And you do get the sense that Teal's right. It's not exactly intelligent.
Okay.
So it probably wouldn't move.
Okay. And then can I move you? Okay. Let's put you back here. Move my spirit weapon and bonus action and swing with it.
That hits.
That is actually force damage. So.
Right.
Boing. Just bounces off of it.
No, it actually the opposite. It passes through it a little more easily than you might have hoped.
Mm-hmm.
It does disrupt the flow of whatever is swirling around inside it, but not by a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, every little bit.
Yep.
And then I guess if I can. You know what? I'll probably. I'm gonna hit it with I'm gonna hit it with blight. Or no, that's not what I want to hit it with. I want to do banishment. Banishment.
Okay.
So that's a charisma, I think. Versus
Oh
15.
yeah, it's not got a good charisma save. So it blinks away.
All right, I'll just concentrate for a minute.
Yep.
Your guardian's gone then.
Yeah.
Oh,
Close the hatch.
No, we need to keep it open to normalize the time within the manor.
Then this creature may come back. I don't know where it comes from. But I've sent it back for now.
Emperor, are you okay?
I feel like I got hit by a freight train.
A what?
Something I had. Back in the kingdom.
So you see the Lucia Rossi standing next to the hatch. The darkness that was surrounding this thing it's sort of initially it just kind of gathered at the surface and it partially blocked off the light. but now it has formed a kind of a bubble too. It's not popping out of the thing the way the elemental itself did, but it does begin to sort of expand and grow into the room, like almost like it's just filling with some force that's coming out of this black mist the elemental was trailing behind it. And it is getting bigger.
Am I within whatever this is that's coming out?
No, but if you stay there for another round, it will probably get to your feet.
All right. So yeah, I'll probably start slowly moving away from that because I have no idea what's going on here. This is outside my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the Pearl of Power to get a spell slot back, 3rd level.
So as you're watching, the blackness fades a bit from this bubble, and you do see there is some almost like a gas that's circulating inside. It's shifts in color over time, but the bubble's getting bigger and bigger and shows no sign of slowing down. So you imagine it could begin to fill sizable portions of this room.
Does it seem to have any interaction with whatever it's touching within the manor?
Not that you can see.
All right. Well, I mean, this thing is either harmful, in which case somebody needs to close this door if it's even possible at this point, or it's not, and we're being scared of nothing. So Lucirosi will slowly approach it and kind of put his hand within whatever this is to see what happens.
As you put your hand through it, it's extremely uncomfortable, but only as your hand, like at the barrier between where the bubble ends and where your arm begins. Inside the bubble, you actually don't feel anything different, and it doesn't hurt. It's not causing you physical damage, but it's uncomfortable. You wouldn't want to stand in it.
Okay. So then
But
I'll pull my hand out then.
Fully 10 feet high at its height, so you probably could stand inside it, although you'd be over the astral nexus at that point.
Okay.
Once you fall in.
Yeah, I don't want to be over the astral nexus, but once this thing does get large enough for me to stand within and not risk falling in, I would do so.
So once you're inside, it's fine. It's uncomfortable stepping into it, but you don't feel any different when you're in it.
Do we see him go in? Can we see him inside this?
Yep.
Okay.
He's a little bit, like I said, it appears to be a little bit dark inside, but you can see him.
Is this arousing within me any flashbacks of stepping through any of the doors where time had been displaced? Because I know I did that right at the beginning with the those goo demons.
The effect is a little bit different, but yeah, it's sort of similar.
Okay. So I think that this is just the effect that we were expecting by keeping the door open. I think that this is what the librarian was stating would normalize the time disruption in the manor. It doesn't hurt to be with inside it. It's a bit comfortable passing between, but I think it's generally safe.
At the rate of expansion, you can pretty much figure it's only going to take it a couple of minutes to fill this room. Probably less than 2 minutes, actually.
All right. So while that's happening, then Lucirosi would want to examine the altar and try and do what he can to undo any of the harm that these demons tried to do in desecrating it, if that's possible.
Yeah, you see now that the demons are gone, the light around the altar fades. You see no trace of the pillar of light that was there. The altar looks untouched. It's about 5 feet high. There are little stairs at the front of it and a podium to stand on. But the stairs are all about a foot high. The altar itself is about 5 feet from the floor. You can see it appears as though it's probably hollow. There's probably something that they store inside it, religious items. There's the gemstone on top of it and the orbs that are circling the gemstone. But otherwise, it appears to be it's the reliefs around it are simply the holy symbols of the four gods, and it doesn't necessarily appear to be nearly as ornate as the gem they put on top of it.
Okay.
Zarius is sitting and resting his bum leg.
And actually, I should have mentioned, but I forgot. When the door opened initially to this room, Zarius would have sensed that the warhorn is inside the altar.
Oh, never mind. I will be going to the altar and attempting to open it.
So yeah, the panel on the front of it, 2 panels at least, open up on either side of it. And in the middle, you can see resting on top of a kind of stand is what looks like a silver and gold horn. It's covered in various runes and sigils. You would most immediately recognize the holy symbol of Osiris on it.
Mm-hmm.
You can also see other symbols for, the false gods that Lucirosi worships. Some other draconic gods that you're familiar with but don't know a lot about, and then many that you just can't identify at all.
Any of the 4 main ones?
Yeah, all 4.
The others?
The symbol of Asheros and symbol of Melora amongst the 4 gods are there.
Mm-hmm.
Zarius.
What?
Is that what you were seeking?
I had a vision, a dream. I will meditate upon this.
Is that possibly is that a relic of some sort? So perhaps it's that object's power that resisted the demons from approaching it.
The dream showed Aregia cleansing it.
Cleansing it.
I think so. I got shit memory, but I'm pretty sure that's what the dream was. She pulled it from some place. It was a dream, so much of it was likely metaphorical, but the horn was clear. I was accompanied by the great hound Anubis as I watched her cleanse it.
I mean, perhaps before she had fallen, that may have been something she had done. But in the time since coming into this manor, she has debased herself in ways that are just unthinkable.
I think it is unwise to question what her motives were without speaking to her.
Yes, perhaps. And Lucirosi kind of reflects on his own decisions of late. But
Arius will sit with the horn for a while.
actually, speaking of that, Zelius, that might not be an unwise idea. Something that may actually be quite possible. If the librarian is to be believed, Regia had attempted to cast aside her humanity, to physically tear it from herself in order to become an actual demon. But in doing so, that part of her humanity may still actually remain if we can find that, and if we can reason with it, we might be able to get more information about what is in fact going on here.
We will. I believe the demon. I believe the librarian at least mentioned that what remains of Regia's soul would be in the treasure room, or near the treasure room, which we're going to want to go there anyway.
I would say, Zarius, you would know just intuitively based on the vision that was shared with you more about the Warhorn. Now that you have it, it sort of comes to you. So I put it in the journal. It should be at the top. But it's complicated. It'll take you a while in character to figure out how to use it, how to even attune to it, and what it is, and it's a special item.
But anyways, she's in the last bits of her humanity are likely in the treasure room or near it. So we're gonna want to head there anyway. There are some special spells that Mordenkainen himself locked away in his treasure room that would be useful to us, such as the spell to rebanish the demon. I mean, to not do anything because the doors are still
open. T-Hole, you mentioned rebanishing something.
Yeah, later.
What do you mean?
T-Hole will go and he'll close the door. He'll go and he'll walk over.
While you're having this conversation, you've retrieved the Warhorn. This dark bubble is still continuing to grow. What are the rest of you doing with respect to it? If you close the door, you'll be in here with the bubble. It's going to fill the room.
Well, yeah. Well, Luciosi's in the bubble. So T-Hole is...
Well, Lucirosi stepped forth from it once he knew that it would be not terribly harmful.
So, I mean, T-Hole wouldn't have any reason to be afraid of it, at least not that I know of.
So when you say close the door, you were talking about the door where the demons came in when they rushed in?
This door, the entrance to the lab.
Yeah, the other demons didn't come through a door. They just appeared in the corner.
Oh, okay.
So I would close the door and just say the special spell that was used to banish to hold the librarian here is likely in his treasure room. So if we wish to bide our time and not have the librarian just run amok before we leave, it would be prudent to see if we can find that spell to re-tether him to at least the manor until we can figure out how to bargain for Daggerface's soul at least.
Lucirosi definitely growls as T-Hole starts talking about this. Clearly still a sore spot for him. But Lucirosi agrees if that's something that we can do, then surely that would be helpful, though I don't know that it would help either myself or Daggerface with regards to our souls.
It'll at least buy us time. Well, it'll buy you time until it's until the payment is due.
So
So
I actually, shortly before those swords began attacking, I had a vision. I believe Ashtaros has provided a path, as in his grace, wisdom, and mercy, he has sought fit to shine a light into the darkness and show me a way that we might be able to undo the mistake that I had made. Or if not undo it, at least correct it to some degree.
And you just need the courage to do it. I believe in you, Mr. Scratches.
Thank you, young one.
what did Asheros show you?
I'm still processing the vision. There was much that happened, and I need to pray on it to know that I fully understand what must lie ahead of me. All I know for certain right now is that there are things within this manor that I must find before I can leave. Events that I need to set in motion. It's really restored my hope. I understand the gravity of what I have done now, but I have renewed faith in Ashtaros and in myself. And I know that while I committed a grave sin, there is a path to redemption.
And you do have the Emperor to help you, even though he is a little bit older and flabbier and a little bit shorter. I'm sure he can still work his magic.
Aurelia, I appreciate your youthful optimism, but your emperor, as you called him, is one of the individuals that got us into the situation that I am speaking of, at least in terms of Daggerface's situation.
Well, it would be a waste of my breath to try to convince you at this point in the game, so
You're right.
I will just say, I will just leave it at that I did what I felt was best, and you did what you felt was best.
Yes, it's so easy to sacrifice that which is not yours.
As you talk, the bubble that's filling the room sort of washes over you. There is that moment of uncomfortable transition, but once you're inside it, it's fine. And eventually it seems to fill the whole room. At least you don't see the edges of it anymore. And you can't even actually tell that you're inside it once it's filled the room.
Do I think that perhaps like a lesser restoration might restore the aging done to T-hole? Or maybe
Lesser
just
restoration, greater restoration you sure would. Lesser restoration and an action point might.
Well, sorry, T-hole. I got any more.
As
I don't know about the rest of you, but after fighting with those demons, I am quite weary. More so than I would expect, actually. And now that we know that this room, that the time that passes is closely related to the time that passes within our own world, perhaps we should take this opportunity to gather our strength before moving on.
will that bubble come back?
What What do you mean? It's already, we're within the bubble.
Not that bubble. The time elemental.
I do not
I'm
know.
not familiar with what Zarius did to it.
I banished it to the realm it comes from. But if it were sent here by some other means, it may return.
You hear a banging on the door to this room as it shakes.
Is it,
Don't do
is
it.
it locked?
You don't think it's locked, but
Are
it
there,
is as if somebody's struggling with opening it.
is there anything here that might be able to barricade the door?
It opens out,
Okay.
so not from this side.
So Lucirosi would then position himself right in front of the door and would call out, "Who's there? Who tries to gain entrance?"
You don't hear anything. The door continues to move, but you don't hear anything on the other side.
Zarius will stash the horn out of view, like in a bag.
You hear suddenly there's a sharp sucking sound and a pop, like a vacuum seal being opened. And the door opens up and the librarian's there. So I'm not sensing the unholy presence here in the room anymore, so I figured you guys was successful. Good for yous, but again, if you want to contact me, you shouldn't close doors, because I can't hear you then. And you can see there's a very clear, it's almost like a shadow between you inside the room and the librarian outside. Very much like the edge of the bubble reached this doorway. It doesn't seem as though it's expanding outside of the room, though.
Okay. Well, librarian, we'll call when we need.
Yeah, but I'm free now. Like, I can go wherever I want. Excuse me? Yeah, it's nice in here. I mean, I'm sure that's a horrible tragedy, all the graffiti and destruction, but, from my point of view, it's kind of nice.
Is there something that you require of us?
Did you bring any books?
I got plenty of books. Hey, let me just ask, who the hell are you?
Are you speaking to me?
Of course I am. You
That's
just spoke to me.
That's very rude.
Can't you?
Well, I deeply apologize. I did not mean to offend you in any way.
Apology accepted.
Well, I thank you very much. You're very gracious. If you need anything, we're ready to make a deal.
Oh, what kind of deals are those?
Aurelia, do not listen to this creature.
Oh, come on. You thought it was a good deal. Look, he and I made a perfectly fine deal. And he was happy with it. I was happy with it. Granted, maybe he's having a little buyer's remorse now. But if you need anything, just give me your soul and we can negotiate. You said you wanted books? I got lots of books.
Aurelia, there's nothing to be gained by listening to this creature. Regardless, librarian,
Yeah.
what are you doing here?
Like I said, I sensed that there was a bit of a change. So I moseyed on over to see if you guys was all still okay, which you seem to be.
Zarius
What
is
happened
gonna.
to you? He looks looking at T-hole now. What happened to you, Emperor?
Time elementals.
Yeah, well, okay. That's a fair point. I don't think I mentioned it. If you keep that elemental nexus door open, things can wander through. Usually, it's not likely that they'll mass up, but they can come. I'm surprised to see a time elemental here, but I guess it makes sense because a lot of temporal energy would have been floating in this general direction given the fracturing here.
Well, you
But
us
time
that
elemental.
yeah, you told us in order to stabilize the time issues to leave it open.
Yeah, and you've done that. Like I said, I think it'd be possible to stabilize time throughout the entire manor. It's just going to take a little more work. I just figured it would come through the elemental nexus because the elemental nexus attracts these elemental energies. It might simply diffuse throughout the place over time, but I don't know how long that's going to take. I'm still working on how to. You may have noticed when you open and close doors, sometimes time on the other side will sync up, sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll go back to what it was, sometimes it'll change. I think we can get the right sequence of opening and closing doors and syncing time up, we might be able to get the whole manor in one temporal frame of reference again. But it's a complicated problem because things keep changing in here. And you see, he's now just looking very intently at T-Hole. And although he is not a big guy, he is going to reach out and try to shove T-Hole.
Oh yeah, so I was gonna try and
T-Hole, you can make me an acrobatics check or an athletics check to beat an 11.
I am great at both of those.
the battle of the very feeble. So you splash into the pool behind you as he shoves you in.
Into the pool behind me.
Yes. So you're in the water now. And then he says, if you can stay in there for 8 hours, I'm pretty sure it'll take care of that damage the time elemental did. At least they're making you old stuff. I don't know about everything else that may have happened to you. Anyways, Lucia Rossi's being a little bitch. I'm going to leave.
You do that.
Maybe I'll stay.
You know, you could have just told me that sitting in here would help rather than
yes, because next time I won't be as nice.
Hey, we're friends here. We made a deal. We made a very fair deal. It's just being a little playful. If I am sorry if it offended you, I just thought it would be amusing. You never pushed anybody into a pool before?
Not the Emperor.
I haven't pushed myself.
Once again, madam, I am chastised. You have made a very good point. I am sorry, Your Highness. What title did you go by?
Lord Emperor.
You're lucky you were not crucified.
Well, I mean, I'm immortal. What is crucifixion going to do to me?
It's a very long time to be up there.
Be very inconvenient.
There you go. So, like I said, sorry about pushing you in. Just trying to do you a little favor in a way that I thought you would get a kick out of. I'm sure you would have thought it was funny if I did it to Lucia Rossi.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
I don't know if Mr. Scratches can swim.
Luckily,
Zarius thinks for a moment. He says, "That seemed an awfully demonic thing to do." As he returns to the pew and sits down.
He stops talking for a second and he's just staring at you. His eyes narrowed. I get the feeling you and I are not going to wind up friends after this.
So where's Mordenkainen?
Mordenkainen? He's dead, sweetheart. He's been dead for a long time. Oh, either that or he's fooled everyone, including me. I wouldn't put that past him.
So you said you've got lots of books.
Oh, sure.
Do you have any books about, I don't know, killing wizards or magic users and stuff?
I'm sure we do. Why don't you just come with me and we can go find those books?
I probably should stay here with the Emperor. You're the librarian. Aren't you supposed to go get them?
Well, I mean, I can go get them for you. I am actually, if not officially, the librarian at this place anymore. I am a free agent.
Are you looking for another librarian gig?
Not especially. I have other plans in the long term. Probably take a couple centuries off, to be honest with you. Been 7-8 days a week for me here.
Do you know what this chapel is dedicated to?
Well, it was a chapel dedicated to the four gods, just generally. Originally, I should say, there was no specific bent to the chapel. Obviously, when Auregia took over, it was mostly she was worshiping Asheros here. But the scenes, if you take a look around, that were decorating here were mostly about the creation of the world, standard religious iconography for the great churches.
Librarian, unless you have any more contractually obligated information to provide us, or unless there are any other aspects that we are contractually obligated to provide, I would request that you leave.
Well, since you are simply requesting it, I will graciously agree to grant your request. But feel free, like I said, to ask questions. I don't necessarily know everything you guys are going to want to know. When you came in here, if you wanted to know where the war horn was, especially, I see you found it. But I could have told you specifically that it was in the altar. At least it was last time I saw it. I could have told you about the pool essentially can grant one person a greater restoration per long rest. He doesn't quite use those words, but to the effect of that. But yeah, okay. So Lucia Rossi, I will see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Says he closed the door.
Nope.
I'll make sure I close the door. Once I close the door, Lucia Rossi sort of visibly relaxes.
And the door opens up and he sticks his head in. He says, "Oh yeah, one more thing. I noticed you guys walked through this room behind me, but you should. I think you maybe didn't notice, but there's like potions that Auregia was keeping in here, so you may want to pick those up. They may be useful. Just letting you know. All right, if you need anything, mint on your pillow. You guys let me know. Bye."
Yes, I would like my pillow fluff.
I'm guessing he leaves the door open again.
He left the door open.
Rosie will walk back over and shut the door.
It's like that annoying parent that keeps leaving your door open.
And Lucia Rossi will purposely look at the door and stay there for a bit longer to make sure that the librarian doesn't pop in again. And after a moment, he'll walk away.
Well, I think this pool should be big enough for at least 2 of us. If somebody else would like to heal.
He said it can do it once per long rest. It's one person.
Once.
More than one person can fit and can, bathe.
Gotcha. I thought I interpreted it as once per person per long rest.
Right.
Gotcha.
Well, as I was saying before the librarian came in, I think that we should take time to rest and ready ourselves for the other challenges that still lie ahead.
I agree. And the teal just kind of like sinks into the pool. He's gonna disrobe. He's actually gonna disrobe because he went in like with all of his clothes, so he's gonna get naked, and then throw his wet clothes over the side.
Zarius is gonna take an hour with this horn first before starting a long rest.
And Luciorosi's going to take probably 2 hours to just kneel next to the altar, praying to Asheros. Before...
you guys actually long rested not that long ago. So in order to get the benefits of a real long rest, you're actually gonna have to stay here like 23 more hours because it's once every 24 hours. That said,
time is weird.
Right, but time is now officially equalized with the outside world here, so that will cost you 1 day and not several weeks.
Yeah, Luciorosi would be okay with that. He's in a bad place.
Right, and that is convenient because I'm sure you guys will all level up now to level 9. That will actually give Tony time to read that long ass description of the warlord.
I read through how to attune to it.
Okay.
I will cast a couple of times just to help me out. I will do fucking enhance ability as well. I have it prepared so I could do it a couple of times while I attempt this. It lasts for an hour, so see if I can get 2 successes maybe. And I guess I can enhance other people's abilities as well since I have to upcast it.
So yeah, if anybody has any like craft projects you've been putting off,
I got you.
Does the greater restoration, will it only cover the time difference? Will it restore the hit point maximum?
Actually, it will restore the hit point maximum and the time difference for you. For anyone else who lost hit point maximum, you have to make a con save. Daggerface definitely has to make a con save.
All right, I'm going to be next to him as he makes that save. Yes.
He made it. So he gets back his hit points. I think, did Aurelia get hit with that? I think she did.
Mm-mm.
Got hit with something.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I didn't lose any max off hit points.
Okay.
It was
that's right. It was T-Hole I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll get it back automatically.
So you said that like history of the world was written in this temple, but it's been
the history of the creation of the world.
Okay.
A lot of it's been destroyed though. Like there were a lot of bas-relief carvings along the wall and the frescoes above, but like they've been defiled. Blood has been smeared on the frescoes. A lot of it's been chipped at and just clawed at.
Okay. So in between like getting a whatever rest I need, I don't know if mending how well that works, but I will try to just at least take off the defiling.
Mending, I mean, prestidigitation would do a better job of cleaning than mending. I play mending the way it's written, so it basically can fix a single clean break, as opposed to like you for like the carvings, it'd be impossible to reconstruct those unless you find a big chip and can line it up and then mend it. So that it probably is destroyed and will have to be replaced one way or another.
What about using a rag and using the water and trying to wash some of the blood and stuff off?
That you could do.
Okay.
I mean, it's a big room. The ceilings are like 40 feet high in this room.
Okay.
And Zarius, if you're just giving out enhance ability, I'll take a wisdom just to help me pray harder.
I'm giving myself wisdom, so. Let's see here. Third level, I can do one additional person. So yeah, I guess if you want to be super wise for a little bit, go for it.
Right. If you could, there are these 2 broken statues at the back. You could probably use mending on those. There would still be maybe chips missing, but you could probably fix the statues. If probably if somebody will need to help you to lift up like the torsos. I think you have an 8 strength.
9.
Lucerosi can help with that.
So I have to. It has just a regular wisdom check for this thing.
Yes.
I can't like coax insight out of it.
No, it's just a wisdom check.
You do have inspiration still. Puff.
All right. If I can get that once now and then once in about an hour.
So another thing Lucerosi would.
Nice. How does a crit work? Because I had advantage.
It's just a success. There's no special rule for a crit. I mean, I figure eventually you'll succeed on this anyway.
Yeah. You never know. I gotta make 5 before losing 3.
Right.
I'm off to a good start. But I'll use my other spell slot to do it again. Oh shit. What about that?
No double crit roll either.
Come on. That's 3 in a row.
Dear roll 20.
Yeah, if the next one is a crit, I'll say you're attuned. You've succeeded. How's that? Got a 5% chance.
I got 2 successes. I don't want to push my luck exactly.
Do it. Push your luck. You got any action points left?
No.
Oh. So push your luck.
I'll do it once.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
Yeah, we're good. All right. That's 3 hours. 3 hours worth. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's go again.
Do it alive.
Yeah, it's a good. I may be relying on that inspiration if something fucks up here. Ooh, inspiration ain't gonna help that. Oh wait, yes it could if I roll an 8.
Oh, you don't have advantage on that?
No, I had 2 spell slots left to
Oh,
cast that spell.
Okay.
Ah. All right, I'm done. I'll wait till I can cast the spell again.
Okay, so I assume you guys are going to wait here for 24 hours. We'll stop it here, pick it up next time. The long rest is a good time for you to have leveled up anyway.
Well, wait. I also want to say that Lucerosi would try to carry the bodies of the demons out of here.
Yeah. The demons, like the demons you met in the first room, seem to be sort of dissolving into nothing and are gone. Essentially, by the time the bubble filled the room, the demons' bodies would have been gone.
Okay. Well, in that case, the bodies of the individuals that are still here and remain,
Right.
Lucerosi would gather them up in whatever ritually sensitive way that he could, since, can't really bury them, and it would be unwise to start a fire to cremate them, but he would try to arrange them respectfully in some corner of the room and do the funeral rites for each of them.
Okay, you do that, and there's a funeral. Is anyone doing
And
anything?
probably help
special?
Aurelia with the statues, and then spend the rest of the time in prayer.
Can I make my persuasion roll for Dagger?
After the long rest, you should be able to do it. But if you want to make it now, we can say it happens then.
Okay. Boom.
Okay.
Tony, are you?
Aurelia and Daggerface are having what for Daggerface is a very uncomfortable conversation. But he is listening respectfully to her point of view.
I had been rolling for hit points. Do we get max?
Yes.
All right. I was almost short too. I always forget about doing that. All right.
All right.